have to tell you, I'm feeling a little giddy right now because I haven't actually gotten to speak in public in front of people for, what, 2.5 years. So really happy to see you all here today. Thank you for coming. As Angela said, I'm Mary Bula, and I'm the director of Career Street, Erie Together. And we've been here in existence since 2009. I started with the movement in 2012. And Jen has been with Career Street since 2014 when we launched the program. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk with you about both of the programs. We're going to give you a little history on Erie Together and how this career inspiration work fits into our mission. We're going to focus very specifically then on Career Street and Erie Together programs, and then we'll give you some information on the impact of each of these two initiatives over the course of the last several years that they've been in place. And then finally, we're going to share with you some really specific examples of career exploration experiences that we've created over the course of the last several years since we've been up and running and working through Career Street and the Erie County Career Pathways Alliance. So I wanted to start by giving you a flow chart that sort of shows you how Erie Together is structured and how we do the work that we do. So Erie Together is a countywide, citizen-driven, collective impact movement. And what that means is that we bring people together, we identify the community's top challenges and opportunities, we develop plans to address those opportunities, and then we execute on those plans. So again, we've been around for 13 years, and over the course of that 13 years, we focused on all kinds of things from early learning to career exploration to domestic violence to kindergarten readiness, all kinds of things like that. And the reason and the way we choose our things that we work on is we always go back to our mission, which is to make the Erie region a community of opportunity where everyone can learn, work, and thrive. So everything we do fits somewhere within that learn, work, or thrive bucket. So if you take a look at the left-hand part of this slide, you can see where our learn initiatives fall. So with respect to learn, we want to help more kids grow up to become successful adults. We recognize career exploration is a very important piece of that. So we developed our Career Street program in 2014. We launched the Erie County Career Pathways Alliance in 2016. And a third program that we run annually in partnership with Gannon University and U.S. Senator Pat Toomey's office is our annual Youth Civic Engagement Symposium, where we focus on public sector jobs, running for public office, how to become civically engaged in your community. So that is the learn side of our work, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Again, bringing hundreds of people together, helping align their expertise, their resources, their activity to address our region's top community challenges. So we're going to focus on the learn side of the equation today, and this is all about helping more people become successful adults. So as I mentioned, we know career exploration is a really big part of that, right? It helps kids connect the dots between the skills they're learning in the classroom and how those skills are put to use within the real work world. It helps them express and better understand the scope of opportunities that are available to them so they can think about what they like, they can explore what they don't like, and they can make decisions about what they're doing in school and what they're pursuing in school to sort of lead them toward their areas of interest. And then it helps them set goals, right? If they can understand what opportunities look like for them, they can set achievable goals, they can address any obstacles they come up against, and they can really more effectively and strategically engage in their education. Now, the other thing we want to mention is we also recognize that not all kids have access to all different kinds of opportunities just in their everyday life, right? So as a community, we made a decision to deliberately make these kinds of opportunities available to kids all across the county and to do them in a high quality way that's consistent. So no matter where you are in the community, you have access to the same kind of high quality career exploration experiences, whether you're in whatever district in grades K through 12 and beyond. So our focus on career exploration really began in 2012. We set a goal through Erie Together, and this was an arbitrary goal, and I'm going to admit that right up front, but we thought it made sense. We set a goal that 80% of 8th graders would have 3 or more career exploration experiences by the end of their 8th grade year. And we did that recognizing that we needed to have just a baseline understanding of where kids fell at that particular point in time. So we surveyed about 3,000 8th graders across Erie County. We worked with the school districts to do that. And the remarkable thing was we got almost 2,000 responses back from those students. What we learned was our goal was 80%. But in reality, there were only 12.7% of 8th graders that were reporting having 3 or more career exploration experiences by the end of 8th grade. And as a matter of fact, 40% plus said that they didn't have any. So we knew that we had a lot of work to do. Now, since we set that goal, the state has come out with additional guidelines. And what the state has said is that 3 experiences by the end of 8th grade doesn't cut it, right? Kids need to have 12 experiences by the end of 8th grade, high quality experiences that they could show evidence for that made an impact on them by the end of 8th grade. And then by the end of 11th grade, they need to have 8 more. So by the time they graduate high school, they have to have 20 experiences. And the guidelines that sort of direct that are the career education and work standards, which explain what a student should know or be able to do by certain grade levels. And then the Future Ready PA Index, which says you need to have this many experiences by grade 5, this many experiences by grade 8, this many experiences by the time you graduate. So, and the schools are held publicly accountable for that, right? So schools have to report on what experiences students are participating in, and that report is made publicly available. So think about that from even a workforce or an economic development perspective. People can see those reports online and make decisions whether they're going to move and where they're going to locate their business. So it has a lot of ramifications. Anyway, we had 12.7% in 2012. Now, that data was backed up by things that we were hearing from both employers and educators through Erie Together. The educators at the time, and many of you in here were in the room, the educators were saying, look, we want to better prepare kids for their life after high school, but we don't know what employers need. And we can't access the employers to get them to participate in the career exploration experiences. The employers, on the other hand, were saying, these kids are coming out of school, they're not prepared for the things that we are needing them to do when they come to our company. They need to be better prepared. And there was that disconnect there. There was no way for us to connect them together at that particular point in time, except for onesies and twosies, everybody calling on these employers, everybody trying to get people engaged. It was very difficult. The employers were also saying, we're more than willing to do this, but you have to make it easy for us because, you know, we're trying to run our business. We're trying to do our jobs. You have to make it easy for us. We need a menu. And so that is when we said, aha, we can do something about that. And we created Career Street. So Career Street is a platform, right? It's a matchmaking platform that allows employers and educators to connect to provide career exploration experiences for kids. We launched it in February 2014, and right now it houses more than 400 different kinds of experiences. There are 37 schools registered on the site, and we have almost 300 employers on the site. We have over the last 8 years that Career Street has been in existence, for most of those, we have focused solely in Erie County, but at the request of surrounding counties and with the support of Northwest PA Job Connect, which is our local workforce development board, we've also brought Career Street into the surrounding 5 counties. The utilization of those 5 counties so far is much lower than it is in Erie, but it's another opportunity for schools and employers in that region to become engaged and provide these experiences. So just very generally speaking, before I turn it over to Jen, Career Street holds the experiences that we're going to show you and that we've talked about a little bit so far. And it also houses informational resources for schools, for students, and for families so that they can access information that they need to be thinking about what it is that they're interested in once they get out of high school. So we have career interviews on there, we have a lot of videos, we have pathways flyers that we've created and all kinds of other things. Jen is the sole director, right? She's the sole staff person of Career Street. We brought her on in 2014 after we did a whole lot of interviews, and she's been with the program ever since. Since its launch, I think this number is sort of mind-boggling to me. Career Street has facilitated over 46,000 student experiences for kids in grades K through 12. I think that's pretty remarkable, and Jen has played just a tremendous role in making that happen. So I'm going to turn it over to her now so she can talk to you a little bit about some of the details about Career Street.
Sure. Thanks. So as Mary said, we, me, you can't hear me? Is this better? Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to bring my cheat sheets a little closer here too. So you're looking at one of the screens from the Career Street website. This particular screen is what where an educator would go to find an experience for their classroom, their club, their group of students. I'm a teacher and I want to have a speaker come to the classroom, or I want to facilitate a tour in one of our local employers. This is the experience page of the Career Street website. And you can see we've highlighted the drop-down menu to just give you an idea of the variety of types of career exploration experiences that are available to our students. We did design it to be very easy to use, and I'm always available to assist educators as well. Educators, and actually I also assist employers too as they prepare the experiences for the students. I want to make sure it's a good match, and so I am involved when needed. And because of that, it's become a real go-to tool for educators to make connections with these local employers. You can see here that there's a wealth of experiences that we offer through Career Street, which makes it also easy for employers to showcase their company, their industry, and really give students an idea of who they are and what they do here in our community. And we do it in ways that makes the most sense for those employers. I like to say that perhaps a tour of an accounting firm might not be that dynamic or inspiring. So perhaps having an accountant come into the classroom and talk about what she or he does would be a little bit more of a better way to feature that industry. However, being able to bring students into a manufacturing facility so they can really see what's there would be a more dynamic learning experience there. We do, what did I do? All right. These experiences are all aligned with the state requirements, so they are high quality and they are designed to make a real impact on career education and student learning. We also track the participation and some of the more popular experiences in the classroom because they're easier to facilitate our classroom speakers. It's easy to have a speaker come into the classroom. We are facing a substitute shortage, and so for an educator to not have to think about a replacement for them to leave the campus, makes this classroom speaker a very easy experience. But another popular experience is a workplace tour. That gives students the real feel of what they're learning in the classroom and how it applies to the real world. It's also very immersive, engaging all of the senses: sight, sound, smell, sometimes even taste in those workplace tours, so that it's a very dynamic, rich experience for the students. Through these experiences, students have direct connection with employers, and these connections might not happen if it weren't for these career exploration experiences. I want to also mention that this is a great education for teachers as well. When you think about teaching, educators go from learning in the classroom to working in the classroom, and most don't have a lot of private sector experience. Most haven't been in other employers, other companies. They haven't learned about different industries. So by them making these connections through Career Street, it also gives the educators exposure and real-time activities to help them make the connections in the classroom. I went backwards. There, okay. Mary mentioned that since 2014, we've facilitated more than 46,000 career experiences. And that includes in the most recent year, we've made the shift necessary to continue meeting our goals, which is to provide virtual experiences. Companies couldn't bring outsiders in, and schools couldn't have visitors come in, so we were agile enough to be able to shift and create virtual experiences. Some of these were employer showcases, where we were able to interview the CEO, president of the company, and then learn from some of the employees within that company about their careers. We were able to do live chats. What you're seeing here is a group of students from Northeast, I believe they're third graders, and they're live chatting with a state trooper. They're able to ask her about questions in her career virtually through a platform such as Zoom or so forth. And then we also have pre-recorded career interviews as well. This is our YouTube channel, and we have put a lot of effort and time into developing a lot of virtual experiences, a lot of videos. We have almost 150 now accessible through the Career Street website and the YouTube channel. We have organized these by playlists that are consistent with the 5 generally accepted career pathways, the 16 industry clusters, and we've even covered entrepreneurship, which is particularly difficult for educators and students to be able to get their arms around. Having the entrepreneurism brought in also brings a lot of value to the Career Street program. But this is actually a good segue for me to hand the microphone back over to Mary, and she's going to talk about the career pathway systems.
So I just wanted to mention, when we launched Career Street back in 2014, and as we were developing it, we knew that this was not a case of if you build it, they'll come, because it's a great platform and it houses really, really good, important resources. But we knew we needed to bring somebody on to be able to run it, because Jen is able to provide so much more support to the employers and to the school districts, and is able to create some of these experiences. If you look at these 150 videos, probably 140 of them have her smiling face in it somewhere. So it's really important to have that resource. But the other thing it's important to know is these resources now live on, right? So once you create them, they're there and they're accessible to the school districts and to the ones we've made publicly available to, families as well. So just wanted to point that out. So We had Career Street, got it up and running, 2014. There was not a model like Career Street that we could find anywhere else in the country, right? So we were starting from scratch. And so when our community started to think about career pathways, and organizations like the Erie Regional Manufacturer Partnership started saying, you know, we really need career pathways for workers to be able to come through high school and advance through their career. People like Emerge 2040's steering committee and the report that came out, the importance of career pathways. Erie Together saying, we need career pathways for students and adult workers to be able to advance and become better able to earn a family sustaining wage. That's where our community turned its focus. And at that time, the Department of Education was also looking at career pathways, and they had begun working with the National Center for College and Career Transitions to develop these pathways partnerships across Pennsylvania. Dr. Jim Tracy from Girard School District and Dr. Aldo Jackson, who was the director of Erie County Technical School at the time, met this guy from the National Center for College and Career Transitions called Hans Meter. And Hans Meter was an expert, right? He was a former really high up administrator at the US Department of Education. His specialty is career and technical education. He started this company, and he now had a relationship with the Department of Education in Pennsylvania. When they heard what he had to say about the importance of career pathways to school districts and communities and local economies and employers, they said, let's bring Hans Meter to Erie and we'll do a community meeting and we'll see if our community wants to move forward with developing a career pathway system for local students. So Hans Meter came in 2016, I think somewhere around January, did a half-day workshop. All of these community entities were there, Erie Together, Emerge 2040, ERMP, all the school districts, everybody was in the room, right? He did this half-day workshop and he discussed the importance of career pathways on all those things I just mentioned. At that meeting, he said, are you guys interested in moving forward with a career pathways development activity here? They all, sort of looked around and said, yeah, we think this is something that's really important for our community. And then they turned to me and they said, Mary, because of your Erie Together's relationship with school districts and because of your collective impact approach, would you be willing to facilitate this work, the development of a career pathway system? And we said we would. And so that's when we launched the Erie County Career Pathways Alliance. The Erie County Career Pathways Alliance mission is to better prepare Erie County students for post-secondary education and training and future careers and for success in their community. The way we've structured it is we've organized it around 5 generally accepted career pathways, which I'll show you in a minute. Those encompass 16 industry clusters, and we're following the research-based framework that was developed by NC3T, which I'm going to show you in a minute. This is a K-12 initiative. This is a really dynamic collaboration among all different kinds of stakeholders, employers, K-12 educators, all 6 of the local colleges and universities, the Workforce Development System, CareerLink, the Workforce Development Board, GCAC, the ERMP, Erie Regional Manufacturing Partnership, other employer groups, all engaged in this work, focusing on better preparing kids and helping prepare them to meet local employers' needs. Everything we do is grounded in data, right? We're not going at this willy-nilly. We're looking at what the data says in terms of the skills that are needed in the region and the jobs that are most needed in the region. We're aligning everything that we do with Future Ready PA and the career education and work standards that I mentioned to you earlier. And the bulk of the work of this group is to develop and deploy age-appropriate experiences and then document those experiences through templates so they can be replicated, whether you're in Fairview School District, Fort LaBeouf School District, Erie School District, no matter where you are, right? You can utilize these templates to provide high quality experiences for your kids. Now, this is what that partnership looks like. So take a look at that for a minute. That is really, really special. These people have been at this work now for 6 years. We have a leadership team that meets monthly, and we have industry advisory groups that meet every 2 to 3 months, all to make sure that we are providing the kinds of support to schools, to students, and employers to make everybody reap some success, right? So we have most of the K through 12 school district engaged. We have all 3 of the career and technical centers engaged. So Erie High, Erie County Technical School, which represents 11 school districts, and Corey School District, which has their own career and technical center built right into the school. And we have all 6 of the local colleges and universities engaged in some way. And when I'm talking about the 6, I'm talking about the 4: Edinburgh, Mercyhurst, Barron, and Gannon, and then also Erie Community College and NPRC. Those are the 6 I'm talking about. All of them are engaged in some way, right? If you look to the far right of this slide, you'll see the other partners that we have at the table that are providing the kind of support that we need to be able to pull these experiences off well. So we have Career Street, obviously. We have the intermediate unit that plays just a tremendous role in helping us make sure that we are aligned with state standards and that we are executing good experiences. We have Northwest PA Job Connect that has largely been a partner that provides us with data and expertise that we need from a workforce development perspective, and also provides us with funding to be able to execute the experiences we're putting forward. Northwest PA Career Link, the National Tooling and Machining Association, the Erie Regional Manufacturing Partnership, and the Corey High Ed Council, all engaged in this work in some way. Now, the industry advisory groups that you see down the middle, those are where the real magic happens, right? So we are bringing people together that are representing different industries within these 5 career pathways. And then they are meeting with school districts and post-secondary providers to talk about what's needed in their industry. So just from an efficiency perspective, think about that for a second. So all of these schools now have requirements that their kids have to have 20 career exploration experiences by the end of their junior year in high school so they can graduate. Every one of these employers would be getting multiple calls from all of these school districts for help or for advice, or to get a better understanding of what the employers need in the industry. By bringing these industry advisory groups together, so like employers with all of these educational and workforce development entities, we're really streamlining that process. And so it's less of a draw on everyone's time, and it's bringing the greatest brain power together to think through what are the kinds of things that we do or we should do that will have the biggest bang for the buck. Here's the official role of those industry advisory groups. So again, they're advising educators from K through 12 and post-secondary and the workforce development system on the skills that are needed in the industry, making programmatic improvements to meet employers' needs, building relationships within the industry, and then connecting students in the workplace. So when we facilitate the conversations among these industry advisory groups, we are asking them very specifically the kinds of questions that will get at what are all of those entities most willing to do together that they believe will have the biggest impact on students. And those are the priorities that we end up moving forward with. The process we take is straightforward with every industry advisory group we have launched. And you saw 5 on the slide, right? You saw engineering and industrial technology, which includes manufacturing and architecture and transportation and logistics. You saw business, finance, and information technology, which has the kinds of clusters that you would think would fall within that. You saw arts and communication, human services, and science and health. We have 3 of those 5 launched. The last 2, arts and communication and human services, has not yet been launched. Thank you. And we launched these in the order that the data showed us and that employers were indicating to us we should launch them. So we started with manufacturing first. We then went to science and health. We then went to business, finance, and information technology, because that's what the data was saying we needed to do in terms of the demand, et cetera, et cetera. So we take them all through the same process, right? First of all, we ground them in this career education and work standards and future ready PA, because it's important for people to understand why they're in the room and to understand what the state is holding the school districts accountable for. Then we have a conversation or multiple conversations with them about the skills that are currently the priority within their industry and what's currently missing in job candidates and employees. So we can sort of have a little bit of a roadmap about the kinds of things we should be focused on when we develop our experiences. Then we identify and design age-appropriate career exploration experiences aligned with state standards. So what you'll see and what you know intellectually, right, is that an experience for a kid in elementary school is going to look very different than an experience for a kid in high school. And the way employers interact with those different age groups is important, and they need to understand those differences to be able to do it well. And then we create new opportunities for career-connected learning to better prepare students for future jobs, right? So we're developing these experiences and then we're deploying them, and that's how we're doing the work we're doing. Jim, I'm gonna look at you for a second. I told you I was gonna do this. So Jim Willits from Machining Concepts is a very active member of the Pathways Alliance in our Engineering and Industrial Technology Advisory Group. Do you have anything you wanna comment on about that work?
Well, because of a lot of this work that they've been doing, the schools have. There's been 2 examples that have benefited Machining Concepts directly. We had a student come from the Girard School District who had experiences, and he went to a quality control program in Edinburgh, was online. And he came to us to work directly after high school. And he's doing a very nice job. You can tell that prepared him. He indicated he wasn't ready for college, but he knew he needed to do something. And now he started himself on a very good pathway. We had a second individual come from the McDowell School District. Because of the alliances and stuff that's made, they started their own program in machining. And he started in that program that got grants from machine manufacturers. And he started with us as a machine setup and technician. And he is doing very well. And so that's just 2 good examples of something that may not have happened 10 years ago. But because of the things that are happening that they're talking about, we're starting to create that pathway. And it's going to get out more as these individuals that are successful begin to talk to other students and saying, this is what worked for me. And so I've been involved in putting the skills together and so forth. And from a manufacturing standpoint, it has been so important for us to be able to get to the schools and do that to start that communication. So this has been very valuable. And now, after about 8 years, I'm beginning to see at our company how it's benefiting and how bright a future it has if we continue and more people begin to do the same thing.
Thanks, Jim. And thanks for pointing out too, this stuff doesn't happen overnight, right? So it's very strategic, it takes time. You know, we're really trying to build a well-oiled machine here, and we're starting to reap the benefits of that now. So let's talk a little bit about the impact. We're going to get into this first, and then we'll move in to show you some of the specific experiences that we've developed and deployed. So I split this out into the 3 or 4 different categories, starting with the impact on schools. The first year of the Pathways Alliance, we were working really most specifically with the K through 12 districts, because we had to get a handle on what they were doing internally already as it comes to pathways, you know, and where the big gaps were. So we did a lot of research working with them, and launched this in the first year specifically with those districts before we brought other partners on. What we learned and what we were able to create in the very earliest of the stage of this entity is we were able to get the agreement of all of the Erie County school districts that were participating to align their communications and their coursework with the 5 generally accepted career pathways that I mentioned to you. So that did a lot of things for them that we didn't even foresee, right? Because we were so new into this. I mean, I didn't know a thing about career pathways when we jumped into this, and it was a lot of learning on everybody's behalf, right? But what that allowed the school districts to do very early on was create a pathways-centric course catalog that every district in Erie County that was participating could use simply by rebranding it with their own logo and replacing somebody else's courses, another school district's courses with their own courses. And it had all the information in it that you needed to be able to talk with your families about this shift to career pathways, scheduling, and, you know, opportunities within the districts. So as they were doing that, each of the school districts were also taking a very close look at their elective offerings, right? So districts are required to offer English, math, science, kids are required to take so many of each, et cetera, but they have flexibility in those electives. And so they could take a good look at those electives and say, okay, well, when I'm comparing these against the 5 pathways, these are the areas where I think we're sufficient in terms of our elective offerings, but here's where we have gaps. And they could start to make shifts in the courses they were offering as electives. So kids would have better choices and opportunities aligned with their interests than having to make decisions like, well, you know, this fits in my schedule. I don't know what it's about. I don't really care, but I need a class. I'm going to stick it here, right? So that also allowed the school districts to take a look at their staff and their faculty and say, okay, well, I have this group of courses that really don't align with anything. And I have X number of teachers. I don't know what these numbers look like, but I have X number of teachers teaching those where I need to beef up my activity in this science and health arena, but I don't have anybody that can teach that. So they can then make decisions, better decisions about the kind of expertise they were hiring that would support student learning aligned with these pathways. And finally, it just made it a whole lot easier for them to be able to communicate with parents. I talked with you a little bit about the new relationships and partnerships that have been formed as a result of this alliance. That has brought intelligence and financial resources and other kinds of supports to the schools that never existed before, so that they can support kids' career-connected learning. And then finally, this has given schools the opportunity to learn from employers in ways that are just exponentially greater than had existed in the past. And we're going to show you a little bit of that in a minute. With respect to students, now that we're creating these experiences and we're documenting them, we're making them available all across the county for districts that are participating. These kids have access to experiences that they never had before, and they have support through us and through the employers and through the workforce development system that may not have existed in the past without the creation of this Pathways Alliance and the real focus on all of these people to do this. They have new dual enrollment opportunities. So one of the things Jim just mentioned was the quality assurance program, right? So in our engineering and industrial technology advisory group discussions, we have a bunch of manufacturers sitting in there. One of the questions I told you I asked is, what are the skills that are most in need within your industry? Across the board, no matter what type of manufacturer they were, they said, we need quality assurance. We need it at every level. We need it at the entry level all the way up, And we can't grow these kids into higher positions without having a pipeline of talent that can enter in at the entry level. Well, Edinburgh sits in the room, right? Edinburgh says, hey, we've been kicking around, sort of started to develop a quality assurance program, and then they're hearing all these manufacturers say they need it. So Edinburgh finished that program and launched that program. And so far as of the middle of June, 18 juniors or seniors have completed. 16, from what I understand from Edinburgh, have been working in the manufacturing community. I think there's another 8 that are doing internships now, and there are several more that are going through the program. So it's working, and you heard Jim say, I got somebody who's good, right? And he's learning and he's doing a good job. So that would not have likely happened had we not had those conversations in those meetings that led to a partner saying, we can do something about that, and ended up fulfilling a need that he and other employers across the region have. ISM, you have one too, right?
Yeah, we've had a couple of them. We've had a microphone.
Sorry, Angela, I'm screwing up your format.
That's totally fine. I love it.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, I'm from Industrial Sales and Manufacturing. We had a young man from the Edinburgh Quality Assurance course. He actually came to do the quality internship. We gave him a quality and a CNC machining internship as well. So he's getting sort of more experience than what we asked for. And he's planning on carrying on after, which is great. So yeah, and that's really thanks to you guys, because we didn't really know that they were running it, and then you sort of bridged that gap between Edinburgh University and us, made us aware of it, and made us aware that the students were looking for placements, and we're only too happy to take them. And we've had a really good group that anyone that you referred to from any of these programs. So really recommend it and highly support it.
Great, thank you. And again, that what she just said sort of points to the fact that you really need somebody focused on doing this, right? There's, schools are focused on the business of education within their entities. They have these requirements they have to fill. Employers really want to engage, but you need something to make it easy, and you need something to convene these partnerships, and that's the role that we play. Okay, I'm going to move on. With respect to employers, you heard a couple of them speak just a second ago. They're getting opportunities to influence education in new ways. They're getting access to new talent that they wouldn't possibly have met without us creating these experiences. And they're given opportunities to showcase their industry to both students and to families. And we'll show you how some of that's happening in a minute here. And then finally, I just sort of added this little general category. So up until this Pathways Alliance was convened and really started working together and started learning from each other and establishing trust among each other, there was a lot of finger pointing going on. School districts were saying, you people are not helping us educate our kids, employers. And employers were saying, look, we don't know how to help, and you're not making it easy for us, right? And there was a lot of, these kids just aren't prepared. I would venture to guess that is, nearly completely gone at this point, because they've been working together for so long and they're so committed to this work that that finger pointing, I haven't seen it, right? Jim, Catherine, Brody, I don't know if any of you guys want to comment. I have not seen the finger pointing anymore. So this is something we should be really proud of here. We've been able to bring those additional resources, like from the workforce development system, that weren't easily accessible or the connections weren't being made before. And then here's something that I really want to mention that I think it's important for everybody to hear and understand. Career Street and the Erie County Career Pathways Alliance are now state and national models. So we as a community should be really proud of this. So often here, we're looking to the outside, right? What are they doing over there that's better than what we're doing here, or, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you that these two programs are ones that the outside is looking into us for. I mean, we've spoken with people as far away as Wisconsin, or Kansas City, Missouri, not Wisconsin. National Center for College and Career Transitions consistently holds us up. Department of Education consistently cites us as a best practice. And as a matter of fact, last month, we just presented to the entire Career Ready PA Coalition that's facilitated through the Department of Education, being highlighted as a best practice. So something for us as a community to be proud of. And if you want to get engaged in it, we would be super happy to have you if you find that you might have a role here. Okay, so now we get into the fun stuff. We're going to show you some of the experiences. And Jen, I'm going to turn to you to talk about the teacher in the workplace.
Sure. So beyond the matchmaking that happens with the Career Street program, which is obviously important in and of itself, we found that added staff support and programming through Career Street has been invaluable to the educators and the employers with regards to this relationship building. So here are some examples of the Educator in the Workplace tours or day-long events that I have planned over the years. So prior to the pandemic, the superintendents actually requested that we launch sort of one-day teacher in the workplace experiences, bringing the teachers into the various work facilities and teach them what happens there. Remember, it's good. Educators don't know a lot about what happens in business. So this is a way to bring them in. And it's also, I like to say, it's a way for the teachers to be equipped to answer that age-old question, when am I going to need this in the real world? So if an educator actually sees it happening, they see the math going on, they see the calculations, the blueprint reading, that type of stuff, they'll be able to say, well, actually, I was touring a facility and I had a conversation with someone who was very glad that they knew about this. So it provides the educators an opportunity to tour these facilities and learn about what they do and the qualifications necessary for the various employees to have those roles. So the photos up here are a sampling of some of the Educator in the Workplace tours. Some of them were volunteer, the educators volunteered. Some of them were assigned by their principal or their superintendent. Remember, they all needed to get substitutes in order to come and be a part of this, and that is a challenge for them at this time. But on the lower left, you see a few educators who toured the Erie Metropolitan Transit. That was a day that we did focused on transportation, distribution, and logistics. Right above them is a tour we took where part of the day we were at WQLN, and we could learn about careers in arts and communication. And then in the middle, we are touring UPMC Hammett. This photo shows you where we're being taught the capabilities of a room in the emergency department, and it breaks down every role that everyone involved in a serious medical emergency has. And then it talks about the people required to operate the various medical equipment and specific education and training needed for those positions. Over on the right, we have the entire middle and high school faculty, educators, counselors, and administration from Northwestern School District. They requested me to facilitate an Educator in the Workplace day for an in-service, and you may recognize here they're in the lobby of Erie Insurance. So even just showing you photos of these experiences, I think gives you just a little bit of a sense of how important it is for them to be in these environments and making these connections. And they don't happen organically. Educators are in school from maybe 6, 7 in the morning until 3:30. They go home, they take care of their family, they grade papers until they fall asleep at their desk, and they do it all again the next morning. So for them to be able to network with each other, sometimes from different schools, talk about what they do, or talk to the employers that are touring them and have these conversations. We're lucky enough to be able to come to the Jefferson Society and hear speakers, really good speakers, and share some lunches and network and talk to each other about what we do. but the educators aren't gifted with that. They have to stay in the classroom. They have their own roles to play. So by the Career Street and the Erie County Career Pathways Alliance bringing these connections together, they're learning more about what's in the community and taking that on to the students. So one of the experiences we offer at the elementary level is a career cafe. This is actually a best practice that we learned from an educator in Northeast. She was challenged with getting these career speakers in and the students not having time to fit it into their schedule. So she created like a 5th grade lunch and learn, where the speaker would come in and talk about careers, and the students would eat their lunches. And then I also worked with Edinburgh students to create an activity book. They were education students with a little bit of artistic ability, and we focused our activity book on careers in the various pathways so that elementary students, it was geared to 2nd and 3rd graders, could start thinking a little bit about what careers meant and have a visual of that connection. So here's a career cafe happening at Union City. Students listening to someone come and talk about her career. And then this is the activity page. So on the left, you have the coloring page. This page was focused on finance. And then in the middle, you can see a little money counting activity that correlated with it. And then I do have the back of the activity book on here because we want to make sure that we acknowledge Edinburgh University's role, as well as Him at Health Foundation that paid for the printing of 3,000 of these books to be distributed throughout the community to 2nd and 3rd graders. And then up in the top, you can see the kiddos working on their activity book in the photo. So admittedly, it's easier to think through activities for older students, 9th through 11th, than 6th through 8th, than it is to be able to really think through these elementary activities because the kids are so young, right? But there is a commitment to do that. Typically, the way we run these advisory groups is we start with grades 9 through 11 first, because that's the easiest to sort of get your head around. Then we move into experiences for grades 6 through 8, and then we move into experiences for elementary. So our elementary experiences are growing, but we have way more at the middle and the high school level. And these are some examples of things that we've done at the middle and high school level. So if you look on the left, you'll see this Pathways Information Session. We do 5 of these a year. We do them associated with each of the 5 career pathways, and they are essentially is their employer panels with a representative from the Workforce Development Board who gives expertise around, just generally speaking, what are the jobs and skills that our employers are looking for. These are moderated panels. We create the questions. We provide them all to the panelists in advance. We do them in an hour. We record them, and then we push them out to the districts, to the students, and to the families of the students so that they can learn from these employer panels about these different industries. On the right, you'll see an example of a virtual employer showcase. We did, again, 5 of these this year. We received some special funding from a business education partnership grant to be able to do that. We were focused specifically on business, finance, and information technology careers in multiple different types of companies. So you see here, this is a manufacturer, but we were focusing on business, finance, and information technology jobs to help kids understand that those types of jobs are employed in all kinds of companies, right? And then that last one is Jen doing a virtual career interview that she recorded, and again is now part of our 150 video library that we have on Career Street's YouTube channel. And then this one is one that I think is just the epitome of what these partnerships look like and can produce. This is our multi-district industry club that we just launched as a pilot this year. It involved 5 students from 4 school districts. We kept it small.
But what you see here through these pictures that are represented is that multiple companies are engaged in this, allowing for job shadows and internships. We did multiple college tours. We did multiple company tours. These kids got a 40-hour internship, and we also gave them soft skills training that we secured through our partner GCAC. So the pictures that you're seeing are representing some of the job shadows and some of the internships that these 5 students got to do. And it has been, I think, life-changing for many of them. Of the 5 kids, 2 of them got job offers. And I think that's saying something. And one's only a junior, right? So, I mean, I think that's saying something. And these kids are just beyond happy. So we have Dahl Kemper's landscaping. We had community access media. One young woman was very interested in becoming a hairstylist, but learned about the sort of business side of having a salon. Curtsy Food, Industrial Sales and Manufacturing, and the Erie County District's Attorney's Office. And I'm going to give a shout out to the DA's office, because we called this young woman is a junior in high school. She's a rising senior, very interested in forensic science. Very difficult to find an internship in forensic science in Erie County. We went to 7 or so different people before we landed at the DA's office 3 days before her internship was supposed to start. They created a tremendous experience for her through their chief county detective and his supporting detective. This is Ann Stein here, one of the people that is a detective in that office. And this young Girard student just had a tremendous experience. And again, they came through at the very last minute. So, I mean, lots of really good things happening here. These kids have loved it. And again, 2 of the 5 got job offers. So pretty impressive. Wanted to just share with you what's on the horizon here. And then I think we are getting close to wrapping up. We're going to show you some informational resources, then we can open for questions. But we're embarking on a skilled trades project where we're bringing students information now about the skilled trades and helping them connect with the skilled trades. We talked a little bit about that quality assurance program. We're putting a really significant push on dual enrollment opportunities between K through 12 and post-secondary. We have a whole team looking at that and cataloging the opportunities so more kids can take advantage of those. We're about to launch a profile of a graduate that will list all of the skills and qualities that people who graduate from high school should have. Lee, that should sound very familiar to you. It's a next step from Are You Ready for Life After High School? And then we did some career ladders and some lesson plans around those. And we've written a bunch of articles about manufacturing and skilled trades that you can find on our website. And then finally, we have a lot of informational resources housed on the Career Street website. We told you we're documenting these experiences. These are our templates that we now make available to school districts and employers if they want to execute an experience. You can see, I'm not going to go through this, but it says what a school district should do, what a student should do, what an educator, or what an employer should do to pull off a good experience. And if schools and educators follow these, then they're sure to have a high quality experience that meets state standards. We have all kinds of templates that we've got available on our website. You want to talk about these articles, Jen?
Sure. So these are the Career Street career interviews. They are printed interviews that are distributed to the schools on a weekly basis when school is in session. I've been doing these since Career Street launched, and there's now a library of 165 of these on the Career Street website. I interview everyone. If you entered the workforce when you graduated from high school or you have a PhD, you all pretty much get the same questions, but it's the first touch for the student to learn about the featured career or related careers. What happens then is the educator receives them, the students read them in class, and then they begin to talk about the featured career, related careers as it applies to their studies. So these are just a couple of samples. I will point out that the young female machinist on the left is a graduate of the quality assurance program that we were just talking about, and she was hired out of her internship. And so they're color coordinated by pathway. So if you have a student that's very interested in, for example, human services, which is the orange one, they can look for the orange titled articles and know that it's going to be something in their interest field. But anyways, we have these for all different types of jobs, all local employees, local employers. So yeah, okay, so the role during the pandemic. So you will recall there was a time when we weren't allowed to go out to school, go into businesses, go do much. And yet educators were forced to continue to provide these career exploration experiences, and students needed to meet those requirements in order to graduate. I received a panicked call from an educator who said she had more than half of her senior class required to do a career interview by graduation, and they hadn't started. Nobody was able to make a connection to do these interviews, and so we provided the students with access to all of these interviews. They could sort through, decide who they wanted to interview, use this piece as their interview, and they were able to go ahead and graduate. And that was one school district, but as soon as other school districts found out that it was there, they all took advantage of it as well, so that their students could meet that requirement also. So it did play a really key role. And again, they live on. So students can use these to do career research, and they have multiple options to search through the industry that they're interested in, learn about all of the various types of careers within the industry. And I'm always looking for candidates to interview. So if you think you have a good career story, please tell me, because I'd love to get you in the bank of this resource. This is the last slide. So there. So the other really important resource that we created are these career pathways information flyers. So we designed ones for Erie County specifically, using Erie County data, using an Erie Together team to put those together. And then we designed regional flyers using regional data that was provided to us through the high priority occupation and in-demand occupation lists. These flyers are really helpful for young people, for families, and for job seekers to understand what the average wage they could make for some of these in-demand occupations, what education level is required, and where they can go for more help if they need more education, if they need basic help, to help them even think through what skills and interests, what jobs their skills and interests apply to. So we've got 10 of these flyers, 5 Erie County focused, 5 regional focused, and these have been really a valuable resource for schools. And that's it. So what questions do you have, or what feedback? Donna, go easy on me.
Okay, where can I find all of this?
So
Wait, let's just start with your question.
Oh, here you go. You got to take the mic.
Where can I find all of this information? Is it on one website? Links to all of this?
So careerstreeterie.org houses most of these resources. I'm going to tell you this. Some of it is publicly accessible, some of it is not. Because school districts pay a membership to benefit from these, and because we don't have a dedicated funding source, some of it's behind a wall, but there's a lot of publicly available information that you can access there.
I have one other question. How well do you believe this information is disseminated to man on the street in Erie County? Because I don't think people know about this.
Well,
I mean, other than your groups, that are
Yeah.
working within it, but I mean, in general.
obviously we are super glad we're here.
Yeah.
And we,
I mean, this is a ton of work
it's a ton
that's
of work.
been done.
Yeah.
And it's, stellar work, but I wish more people knew about it, because I don't think they do. So what do you need, a marketing person?
We do. Yeah.
There'd be somebody that can volunteer to help you. do that.
Yeah, we do, because I mean, the word of mouth, using social media, pushing out through the school districts on their public sites,
we're doing the best we can, but we're a lean staff. It's
I see
us,
that, yeah.
right? And this is two projects of multiples. So we're lucky we have partner organizations. I'm looking at Brody from the Corey High Ed Council that also pushes our information out for us, but it's a struggle, and any help and advice you can give, we would welcome.
How many school districts are members?
So of the Pathways Alliance, I think there are 9 of 13, and Career Street has, I think, a couple more.
I think 12, Erie County, 11 or 12 Erie County school districts. Remember, Career Street did expand to some rural counties, and so we're looking at 5 more outside of Erie County currently.
This is just a comment as a grandparent.
Okay.
We have a son and daughter-in-law. They had 3 boys and they were all homeschooled. And one of them was disabled mentally and wasn't discovered till he was ready to be a high school senior.
And he wasn't what until he was ready?
He had mental problems from the time he was born
Okay.
and was homeschooled. And the other 2 have suffered because they didn't have teachers. They didn't have people to ask questions, and they've struggled. And finally, some of them are doing some of the careers that you've mentioned. Like our youngest grandson is now a barber.
That's great.
But it's interesting, they didn't have any access as homeschooled kids.
Yeah.
Because the kids weren't part of any other group either. So it was a sad, sad thing for grandparents to watch that happen.
Hey, don't take that yet. So I have a question for you. Yeah, so do you happen to know, that's a really great point. Who do you contact that sort of runs, is there a homeschool association? Yeah, who is it?
But they live in Jeanette, Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, then forget it. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm saying an experience, it was horrible because as a grandparent, we couldn't say, your son is having a problem. We can recognize it the way he acted as a little child. And you can't tell those people that their son is not well mentally.
So appreciate that. And Jen just passed me a note that said she has actually contacted the Homeschool Association, and it sounds like it's time for a follow-up. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a great point. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my question's also kind of along the lines of access. So I'm actually currently an intern for the City of Erie in the mayor's office. I'm a New American liaison intern, so really working on improving access for refugees and immigrants. So my questions are kind of along the lines of how we can address challenges for those new Americans. So the students that want to pursue higher education or enter the workforce, but there are challenges such as a language barrier, or more specifically, like sometimes their diplomas are in the country, in their like home country, and they weren't able to bring it to the US. So kind of how we can bring that conversation into improving access for these pathways.
So, okay, that's a great question. And we are we do work very closely with Erie's public schools. They have representation there, as does Perseus House Charter School of Excellence. So, there are a lot of individuals that maybe English wasn't their first language, or they may be immigrants and things like that. We also have the ability for nonprofit organizations to make those sort of act as a school district would, to make the connections for individuals. So for instance, you just gave me a great idea. I think we should reach out to the International Institute and to the Multicultural Resource Center. Thank you. So that we can see if they're interested in taking advantage of this for their students and their clients as well. Great idea. Thank you.
Can I just continue? My name is Niken. I'm the city's New American liaison. So the reason why, Zareen brought it up, because we have talked with many of refugee arrivals, especially from the Afghan. They're not high school students. They have got probably started their university study in their home country, maybe first or second year, and they moved here. And they wanted to get back to higher ed. And again, the challenge is to bring their diploma. They may not have the time to do that when they move here. And then if they were in university before, university in America tend to ask international students to have their university to send diploma or transcript directly to American university, which is it's not very common practice outside the United States, by the way. Even my home country in Indonesia, we're not in the war, but that practice is uncommon. And with the Afghani, the university has been taken by Taliban. There's no access for them to do so. How do they can go back to higher ed with that? And like, helping them with FAFSA, the challenges that we see, right? How can they apply for FAFSA, or even to go to community college when their residency is not even 1 year yet here in Erie. So those are challenges we find, and then also transportation. And then I like the career experience that you have, but for them, like vocational job to them probably are still like, perhaps because in their home country is kind, people look down on that kind of position, that job or profession, maybe making them aware that in America, you can make a lot of money with that.
Yeah.
So exposure to career for the refugees, or not just refugees, immigrant also. So so far we have partnered with AAUW Erie branch. So AAUW Erie branch planning to like give a scholarship for anyone who wants to get back to higher ed to take the ESL classes. But other than that, we're still trying to figure out how can we address this issue. Perhaps you can help.
Well, maybe. I think this can be a conversation that we have, because like I said, we have all the colleges and universities at the table. I don't have an answer for you today. I'm going to look at Michelle Hartman. You're going to kill me. Do you know anything about, what if they have a diploma from their other country? Michelle's with Penn State Behrend. Do you know anything about that?
I wish I did. I'm on the workforce side of Penn State Behrend. The only thing I can think of potentially is to test out instead of getting your diploma.
Okay.
I can certainly take it back into the appropriate people and ask the question.
And we can do that too. So we can bring that to our collection. And then Nika, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is, while Career Street started as a K-12 initiative, we did sort of look at the idea of making this available to post-secondary or just non-traditional individuals who are looking to explore careers. And Jen reached out to, I think, all the employers on our Career Street website to ask them if they were willing to host career exploration experiences for people that were no longer in the K-12 system, and nearly all the employers said yes. So there's an opportunity there, I think, to get people immersed in some career exploration that they may not have had access to when they came here.
Okay, actually, I have a comment. I'm on the board of Erie Center for Arts and Technology, and part of our mission is adult education. And we actually are responsible for the Tech After Hours program that happens at Erie High. So I'm just thinking also this might be a good partnership to bring this resource to ECAT and have weekly, monthly workforce meetings could be for kids and adults for careers, because I know we're always trying to look for, what do we need to do? Another question I have is, what if a child, at what stage does a child need to decide on their path in order to get the coursework needed to graduate with what they would need? How early does that have to happen?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I neglected to mention it. I'm rusty, you can tell. So the reason Erie Together set that arbitrary goal of 3 experiences by the end of 8th grade was because at the end of 8th grade, kids need to make decisions about whether they're going to pursue career and technical education or whether they're going to go strictly an academic route. And so that 8th grade milestone is really important. Having said that, getting into those younger grades to give them a taste of what different things could look like is critical, right? Because how are they supposed to make that decision in 8th grade if they have no idea what the opportunities look like? So that's an 8th grade year critical.
Hi, I've been working in job training for a long time and have watched a lot of this stuff, but I've got a couple questions. One is, you know, do you have a relationship with the library? Because if the library has a career corner, a number of the libraries have career corners with librarians that would be skilled in discussing it. I think that would be a way for adults to really access the beginnings and then, you know, go further than that. And they may have some funding for you as well, you know, to be able to maintain that.
Yeah, so the answer to your question is no. We do not have a relationship with the library, not because we don't want one. We definitely would like that, and I think that's a great idea. We used to have a contact that was very intimately engaged in Erie Together's work, but since retired. And so we have not reestablished a contact with the library. So do you have a recommendation for who?
I don't know anyone there. I'm
Okay.
just thinking I've seen them in other libraries and I think it's a wonderful resource.
Okay, yeah, okay, we'll look into that.
Do the kids take strong Campbell exams, you know, the tests here for skills and interests in school?
I don't know that one. I've not heard of that one. Have you? They do take an assessment, and the name is escaping me right now, but they do take an assessment, but that's not what I've heard it called. Do you know, Brody?
It's like a career inventory
Right.
assessment.
Yeah.
The name is also not coming to me at the moment.
No.
I mean, basically it was just, you know, would you rather climb a tree or, you know, play in the street or something like that? And then they'll tell you that you should be a funeral director.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen just got it. She got it. It's the Holland inventory that they typically take. Yeah.
Do you get into transportation issues? And
Okay,
all the
so,
other subsets
yes.
of how do you really make the
Okay.
transfer? I'm
Yeah.
done.
No, that is a big deal. And again, something I forgot to mention. I want to show you this. Those kids that are in the rural areas, especially, have trouble getting to these experiences or participating in these experiences because transportation is such a challenge.
Inner city too.
Yeah, inner city too, yep, for sure. But at least in the inner city, there's some public transportation where, okay, that's a debate for another day, but you're right, transportation is a challenge all across the county. But if you look at this slide right here, Hanson's Errand Service down here, we specifically wrote into our project budget for this multi-district industry club to provide transportation for any kids that wanted to participate in this project. We had Corey School District, Union City School District, Northeast School District, and Girard School District. So 3 on the East County, South County, 1 on the West County, right? And we provided, using Hanson's Transportation Services, who committed to get their drivers cleared so they could safely transport these kids. And we paid for that to happen so these kids could get the experiences. Brody, you should comment on this because you're from Corey.
Just about any of these experiences and being able to connect and engage with these experiences, this is one of the top issues or barriers to be able to access these opportunities. So that is absolutely essential. And I was so happy to see that participating through these groups, we've had the opportunities to now make connections like we never had before, because oftentimes the challenges are the cost of the transportation, availability of the resources just within the school districts themselves. But when you're individualizing the experience, that doesn't exist in their budgets at all. So this takes it to the next level in order to allow that connection to be made. So it's been it's been fantastic.
I'm a very old man now, but when I was young, my recollection was that the main influence on children's career decisions were parents. I want to do what mom does, I want to do what dad does, or other maybe more subtle influences. What, if anything, are you doing with parents?
Yep, so the informational resources and the sessions we're doing, we're trying really hard to connect with parents, right? So these Career Street career interviews are pushed out into all of the school districts every single week. Those go to the students, but we're hopeful that they're giving them to the parents. These flyers, we've got plastered everywhere, and the school districts are putting them on their school district, whatever, parent communication things. The Pathways information sessions that we do, we held them specifically in the evenings from 6 to 7 o'clock at night so that we could get parents and students to be able to participate live for these employers. It is a struggle, you know, and we all recognize it. And we've been talking about this, Lee, I'm looking at you, we've been talking about getting parents engaged for 10 years, right?
25.
Huh?
25.
25 years. Well, that's a little before me, but you know, it's been a struggle, but we're trying. Do you have any good ideas?
Well, let me follow up on my question by asking, do you perceive that parents still are a major influence in career decisions for their children? Or is that no longer true?
So I think so, but I think I've been told I'm kind of wrong. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. What do the rest of you think?
Depends on the parents.
Depends on the parents, she says.
Trying to put food on the table and can't think of anything else.
Right, so she's saying that, you know, parents, if they're trying to put food on the table and trying to survive or trying to, you know, focus on doing however many jobs, they can't think about anything else. You know, so I think it depends, but, you know, I said just the other day, we've got to get to the parents, and someone pushed back to me and said, but the parents really don't have the influence over their kids like they used to. So I don't know who's right. I don't know, Susan.
I was just gonna say, maybe the employer is one way or another, and it's just a thought, you'd have to think it through. Maybe
Hold on, she wants the mic.
Just a thought, and you'd have to work it through, but maybe now that you've got employers engaged the way you do, they too would recognize that, at least people within them would. And maybe going through them to distribute things like these flyers, they can take some credit for being involved. They can send them home. That might be a way to go, because it brings those two things together.
Yeah, Jim, Catherine's still here. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Distributing some of the information through your channels.
Hi, yeah, I mean, we would always sort of, you know, be willing to do that. I mean, what is the ask for employers to distribute information about the careers available, so our employees give that to their children?
No, so they know it's there.
Yeah, so even something like this, Catherine, that shows, you know, but we have an engineering and industrial technology one that would address the manufacturing stuff, right? You know, informational resources along this vein.
Yeah, absolutely. Any information that's available, I think employers should get involved in and help, you know, disseminate. But trying for, I don't know, and I can't speak for all employers, but, you know, I'm not sure how much engagement some of our employees, you know, I don't know, towards the children. I mean, maybe employers could do more in respect of, I know, bring your son or daughter or child to work day. I don't know, maybe try and highlight opportunities like that to try and get the family more involved, as, you know, highlighting what careers are available at the place where mum and dad works, or, you know, whatever parent works. That could be an option.
Renee Peck. So I didn't realize we're here. Is there anything that you would like to say based on anything you're hearing today as an employer? No pressure, but if you, I just didn't want to exclude you.
No, I don't really have anything to say. I mean, we're looking to hire people, but we need skilled workers in our facility with some technical training. And, you know, kind of want to have some influence with young people in the higher grades to tell them, you know, about what we have to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this is a great opportunity for that. And I know you guys are engaged in the Pathways Alliance. I can't remember the gentleman's name who comes to the meetings mostly. Yes, Bill Goodwin. Yep, very good. Thank you. Jen, did you have anything? No, okay.
I think parents need to be approached, both as parents and adults, that the world has changed an awful lot in terms of what the techniques are, what the technology is. You know, they're lost in a lot of different ways, and they don't want to admit it to their kids, or their kids know it. I mean, it's all there, but to be able to have some type of a platform where they can learn what the kids are learning, you know, what is the world now, to update them and upgrade them without insulting them or embarrassing them. It's really what needs to happen. That, you know, we're light years, you know, ahead with all the technology that's going on now, and we're getting behind also as a country, you know, because a lot of others are just really pushing ahead, and that's, I think, one of the very big challenges. Whether newspapers can do it, whether the TV stations can do it, you know, whether you can do it through social media. You know, that's an issue, whether the schools can do it by bringing kids in with the parents and have dinners or meals or, you know, some way like that.
I think it's probably all of the above, right? So that's how we're, you know, trying to attack it. Catherine?
I actually think that's a really great point, because just out of personal experience, being a mum, I went to Gannon IHAC facility and it blew me away at the opportunities that students can get now. And I don't think sometimes a student realize how fortunate they are to have those kind of resources, because it definitely wasn't like that when I went to college. And I think it's a great point in that, sort of have that better exposure to parents to get them excited about some of the careers available by going to some of those institutions. And they can really get excited about it and encourage those lives to pursue. I certainly didn't know what kind of resources were available, but it was amazing to go into, and it was the engineering and industrial technology, and the advanced technologies there was just super impressive. And I do think that's a great point in that parents, once they see what opportunities are available, they're sort of much more likely to get more involved.
Yeah, thank you.
We have time for a couple more questions. If there is no more question, then I suggest I'd be happy to, you know, forward your contact detail or the website information as a link. Anyone just write back to me, or you have the information up there as well. I want to thank everyone for a great conversation. I have two young sons, 21 and 24. I think I'm past the decision making, but they have their own minds and they keep changing. You know, Mom, I want to do this now. I'm like, oh, I thought we just agreed. So it is an evolving process, and I certainly appreciate the work you do early on in just increasing or like instilling the wish for a career. I think that's also very important.
Well, thank you everyone for coming today, and thank you JES for having us. We're so grateful.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.